Peace, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at TVP Radio, and we are back with another Sunday Talk. Happy Sunday to those who are alive on this side of the dirt. I'm just saying. But how you doing? I pray that your weekend has been blessed. If you can hear me, reply back to me. I mean, it's only right. If I can greet you and say peace, if I can greet you and say good evening, let's be friends about it and just say it in return. And what I also want to know is where are you viewing from? If you're in the state of Texas, just drop the city. And if you're outside the state of Texas, put the city and state where you're viewing from, just so we can see how far we are expanding or how our lines of communication is pushing into other boundaries. So today is not going to be long at all, but it is definitely going to be very interesting and about the information that we're going to push. All right, so you can already see inside the content on what we're going to be discussing and communicating about today. And okay, we got VA in the house. I see Colleen in the house. I don't know where Miss Barry at, but I see you here, Miss Salinas. I know you in Temple. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Dun, dun. That's simple graphics. Real simple. All right. So here, what in the bejesus? I done took myself out the screen. But anyway, I'm back. All right. So let's talk about it. Today is Sunday Talk. We're going to be talking about various things, whether we're speaking on Black healthcare experience as well as the Winter Olympics. Then we're going to jump and talk to something just a little bit different and going into the Ukraine and Russia update. Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone till we get to that part. All right. So Sunday Talk. And in Sunday Talk, we're going to be talking about the racism in the healthcare and how it can impact treatment decisions. And this is a actual study that went down. It's not something that, is just out there. It's something that is real and it's something that is true to a lot of people. So my question to you, have you ever have been impacted or had some sort of racism towards you when you were trying to make an appointment or when you were at the doctor's office or at the pharmacy, whatever it is, have you ever been or felt that way? If so, go ahead and put that inside the comment and let's just see, have anybody else have been affected with racism in the healthcare industry? So now let's go into this real small comment. Real small question. It says, when does racism damage the Black health experience? And from the survey, this is what it said: 27% while scheduling an appointment. So if there's anything that's on this screen that resonates with you, put down which one it is, and you can drop some of your experience too. All right, 27% while scheduling an appointment. I had to deal with that. 30% checking in for an appointment. I know I've dealt with that type of stuff. All right, then the other 52% is during the appointment. 23% is while leaving the appointment, and 20% is on a follow-up call. So if there's any of these particular five that resonates with you or something that you have experienced with the Black health experience during this time, go ahead and put that in there. Again, this is what the numbers say. This is not what I say. It's not Mr. R2 say, but this is what the numbers say from the survey. The survey said they have reached out to over 1,000 Black people that have did the survey, and from the survey, this is where the numbers come from. So don't be throwing darts at me. I'm just saying, I'm just the messenger. Again, 27% while scheduling your appointment, 23% while leaving the appointment, 30% scheduling, 30% checking in for the appointment. That means the folks at the desk treating you like you a child, but you know you're not. 52% during the appointment, where they talking down to you, act like you can't hear or you don't really speak English, or you don't speak grown talk, so they talking real slow, like you slow. 20% on the follow-up phone call. Y'all know how we do. We get upset real quick on a follow-up phone call, talking about you want to speak to the operator. But I'll leave that alone. All right. So the next thing that we're talking about is Miss Elan Myers Taylor, she is the most decorated Black athlete in the Winter Olympics. For those who have been following or seeing the Winter Olympics, the young lady that's on the left side, as you're looking at it, the bright skin one, the young lady on the left side, she does bobsledding, and she is a beast at it. She's won 2 medals. This is her other partner. They won the bronze, and her as the individual bobsledder, she won the silver medal. So she is really doing a great job out there pushing it, not just for the culture, but she's also pushing it for her son. I think her son has Down syndrome or something like that. So she's really holding it down for her family as well as the U.S. in the Winter Olympics. All right, so the last thing we're going to be talking about is wars and rumors of wars. And this is the Ukraine and Russia update. So I'm gonna play the video. You're gonna hear a little bit about the video. Then I'm just gonna give you the R2 experience about wars and rumors of wars, because this one is very serious to me, especially that I have a son that's in the armed forces, and everyone has the ability, whether you're in the National Guard or you're in the reserve or you're active duty, anyone can get that phone call. But what happens when the phone call happens? What happens when a phone call take place? All right, so we're going to go in the wars and rumors of wars, and this is the Ukraine and Russia update.
US officials say Russia has assembled at least 70% of the military firepower needed to give President Vladimir Putin the option of launching a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Some of the Russian units deployed near the country's border have travelled in 6,000 kilometres to prepare for action. Even just a few weeks ago, deployments of firepower and military personnel have all but hemmed in Ukraine. Battalion tactical groups numbering 800 soldiers each are deployed across Ukraine's northern and eastern borders on the Crimean Peninsula, as well as in Transnistria, a part of Russian-occupied Moldova. Additionally, artillery, armoured vehicles and tanks nearly encircle the country. Moscow also has thousands of troops carrying out joint military exercises in Belarus. Overall, Russia possesses around 1 million active duty personnel, the 5th largest in the world, with another 2 million troops in reserve. Alone, Ukraine wouldn't stand a chance. President Volodymyr Zelensky has signed a decree to add an extra 100,000 troops to its military ranks, taking the total to around 360,000. It's also outgunned. Russia's 2,840 battle tanks outnumber its southern neighbour 3-1. It's for this reason that NATO is expanding its presence in Eastern Europe. The 30-country-strong military alliance has multinational battle groups stationed in the Baltic states, as well as Poland and Romania. While the bloc has nearly 3.5 million troops and civilian personnel combined, it's the NATO Response Force, or NRF, that'll come into play should its standoff with Russia escalate. It's a contingent of 40,000 soldiers, sailors and airmen ready to mobilise in a crisis. When the US announced it was putting 8,500 troops on heightened alert to deploy to Europe, it was referring to supporting the NRF. The tip of the NRF spear is the 20,000 troops known as the Very High Readiness Joint Task Force, or VJTF. It includes a multinational 5,000-strong land brigade, which are able to deploy within a 48-hour window. France leads the VJTF this year, taking the reins from Turkey. Next year, it'll be Germany's turn. Returning to the bigger picture, there is no plan to send NATO forces into Ukraine in the event of a Russian attack. The alliance is, however, responding to the elevated threat by bolstering its eastern and southeastern flank in Poland and Romania.
All right. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. This is how I see it, and this is just my own personal opinion. whatever your opinion is yours. And if you would like to voice your opinion, you can 100%. You either put it in the comment section or you can put it on your own Facebook page. All right. So for me, um, it's a very interesting. Not that it came out of nowhere, but it is something that has always been there. And the way we have trained, our training and doctrine has changed so much, but a lot of it from what Russia does has not changed. Our weapon systems have improved, our vehicles have been updated and improved, but a lot of the Ukraine weapons and things like that has not improved. As you can see, they're totally outnumbered as far as the amount of soldiers and the amount of tanks and equipment that they have. So for Russia to maneuver into the Ukraine, into the country of the Ukraine, will not be a good thing. Yes, wars and rumors of wars uh, is something that is the inevitable. It's something that we all have been hearing about as children for a long time. But when it happens, it happens, and it's going to happen however it's going to happen. But we just have to be very cognitive about what's going on. So always pay attention. If there's something that is on the news and it's talking about Russia and Ukraine, uh, is, I would say pay attention to it. Now, can any of that blow back on us, to our economy here in the U.S. or even here in the state of Texas? There is conversation of the answer to that. The question to that answer is yes. I did see an article that came out about how could Russia and Ukraine affect the Texas economy. So I would say Google that. So do not pay attention to what's going on, because World War III has always been a distant conversation. And the way that Russia maneuvers, as you've seen their tanks, those are old tanks. But so they maneuver and operate in a old fashioned way. The way we've transitioned, we move in a much faster way of training and maneuvering. We went from the older style Bradleys to the newer and much faster Bradleys. Went to the M1A1 Abrams. Even improved as far as our air power. So we have improved in a lot of things, but when you have 1 million worth of active duty and 2 million worth of reserve, that means they've been stacking and building for a long time. So they have been prepared for whatever this moment is. And when your entire eastern border is completely covered with offensive and defensive, well, a defensive posture and offensive operations, ready and willing to move in and to maneuver within a country within minutes. Um, you just have to be very careful. So if you have family over there, especially in overseas, Germany, you have people that is even deployed in Poland, just keep constant communication with them. There will be a time to where they probably will not be able to communicate, just in case they do execute some sort of communication blackout. So what communication blackout is, where they're not authorized or allowed to communicate to any outside. Everything does stay inside. There are lots of units as of yet that are put on a 96 call, deployment call. So if they are called in within 96 hours, they're pretty much called in to get get wheels up, to be moving out into whatever direction, to whatever country that they're going to go to. So make sure that you're paying attention to the news. Do not pay attention. Will it affect? Yes. Our gas prices are somewhat plateaued out just a little bit, but can the prices go up? Yes, it can. Not that Russia had effect on the oil on that side. Like when we hit Saudi Arabia, then what the gas prices went up because they hold a lot of weight. from that perspective, looking at what the country actually has, what type of minerals does a country have that could be beneficial to us. That's what war is. War is not just the battle on the battlefield, but also it is a war about resources. It is a war about nuclear warheads and things of that nature. So again, do not pay attention. The things that you don't pay attention to is something that will come back, um, come back to bite. At what level, I don't know. Whether they're going to come in and exercise some sort of cyber warfare or nuclear warfare, whatever it is, they have the manpower to do it, and they also have the equipment to do it as well. We do have, I mean, as you saw, we do have our NATO members up there in the European area, but we don't have a lot of water. There's not a lot of water in the area to where we can post or stage our naval ships, but there is some. So it's going to be a very asymmetric warfare if they do happen to maneuver into that particular country. Um, so yeah, just pay attention. Definitely going to be a multi-echelon technique. What does that mean? Is they're using multiple ways to combat the enemy, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. So pay attention. So the wars and rumors of wars is real. So if it gets really real with Russia, Russia been buying their military equipment for a long time from like Italy, not Italy, but Israel, China for a long time. So they've been stacking their money as well as stacking their resources and their equipment. So yeah, that's enough. That's all I wanted to say. So just make sure y'all pay attention to all of that stuff. But hey, it's Mr. R2 here at here at Texas Black. Wow, I'm about to split brands. Here at TVP Radio, we're about business, community, and culture. And you guys be blessed.